Good morning. My name is Jason Ivey. I'm the Deputy Director for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. The Highway Safety Office's mission is to reduce the number of injuries and fatalities on the roadways in Tennessee. We have hundreds of partners, literally hundreds of partners across the state that we work with to try to make a difference and an impact for Tennesseans. They're represented by many men and women here in front of me and behind me and out amongst the crowd that are here to support. On behalf of our director, Vic Donahoe, let me say thank you for the media presence that's here today, for the partners, for our guest speakers that are here, for team members, our very own team members that are here in attendance as well. On October 10th, next Tuesday, we will celebrate Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day. It is a nationwide initiative encouraging all roadway users to exercise caution and obey traffic laws to achieve one single day where there are zero traffic fatalities on the roads nationwide, one single day. I'd like to take just a brief second and also thank Beth Vernon. Beth Vernon is one of our program managers in the Highway Safety Office, and this has been a passion. She's been a champion to reach this moment today, started about 2 years ago. So Beth, thank you for your work on this and for all those that help support and make this happen as well. Our first speaker today is a very special individual. He is the Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, but he's also a good friend and he's a proven leader. I'd like to welcome to the podium Commissioner David Perkey.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me for not having a coat and tie on this morning. I'm traveling later on today, and if all of us told the truth, you'd rather travel not in a coat and tie. But it was important for me to be here this morning and support this effort of our Tennessee Highway Safety Office. When you do something important in state government, you do it in the shadows of these buildings. The executive branch behind me and in front of me, the General Assembly to my left, and the Supreme Court to my right. And that's what this event represents today. The governor has issued a proclamation recognizing Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day for October the 10th. The governor's office does not issue proclamations lightly. They put a lot of research into a request for those proclamations, and the governor has issued one for this event, so we're particularly pleased with it. I want to recognize our partners, not only in the Department of Safety and Homeland Security, the Highway Patrol, the Highway Safety Office, our partners with Metro Nashville. Captain, thank you, and your officers for being with us. We have a Sumner County officer here and others. I had somebody tell me one time when I was a state trooper that the best brake is to take your foot off the accelerator. If you think about that, that has a lot of meaning to it. As a former state trooper myself and someone who worked in an emergency room for 4 years when I was in college, I know all too well the difficult nature of dealing with a fatality. And also, I find myself talking about it more in this job than I really want to, but I had a 16-year-old brother killed in a car wreck. He was getting ready to graduate from high school. I remember him well. There were 6 kids. He was next to me in age, and it's been a long time ago, but I still keep his picture on my credenza behind my desk. And I've done that for the 37 years that I've been in government, because he's frozen in time. Larry is frozen in time, and I wonder what he could have been. So I appreciate the media being here today and hearing us to recognize this proclamation, this initiative by our Highway Safety Office. Since they transferred to us from the Department of Transportation, it's been an excellent partnership. They're one of 4 major divisions in the department, and it's been a personal blessing to me to see their work and support their work. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to emphasize October the 10th as Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Perkey. It's always an honor for me to stand among law enforcement and traffic safety professionals, such as the ones that are here today, that make such an impact on changing behavior on our roadways. All of these individuals here understand that every year there are around 35,000 people that are killed on our nation's roadways. That averages to 95 people every single day. We want to put the brakes on this terrible, terrible number. Regarding child passenger safety, 84% of parents in Tennessee are still continuing to install their child's car seat improperly. Now, we've made great strides. In the last 20 years, that number used to be in the high 90 percentile. Now we've made great strides at 84%. But there's still so much work to be done, and we want to put the brakes on improperly installed child passenger safety seats. Regarding teen drivers, car crashes are still the leading cause of deaths for teens. We want to put the brakes on teen fatality deaths in Tennessee and across this country. The ever elusive and the new enemy, even though it's not new, but because of cell phone usage, it has become prevalent, is regarding distracted driving. The national data shows that nearly 49% of all drivers that have cell phones under the age of 35 either send or receive text messages. Here's an example. 5 seconds is the average amount of time it takes for us to look down when we're reading a text message. At 55 miles an hour, you can travel the length of a football field just in that 5 seconds. We want to put the brakes on distracted driving. Regarding senior drivers, to date, 24% of the crashes or the fatalities in Tennessee, our contributing factor is senior drivers. We want to put the brakes on senior drivers contributing such a high percentage to our fatalities. And these are just a few examples of the safety issues that face us every day on our roadways. But let's remember, ultimately, every one of us here is a roadway user. We're either going to be a teen driver, or if we live long enough, we're going to be a senior driver, or we're going to be a pedestrian, or we're going to be a bicyclist, or we're going to be a passenger. But at some point, we're all going to be at least one of these things. So we all have something to bring to this cause. We all play a role. So let's do our effort. Let's all do our part to put the brakes on fatalities. At this time, I would like to introduce Colonel Tracy Trott's Executive Officer, Major Mike Hamilton.
Good morning, everyone. Colonel Trott couldn't be here. I apologize that you've got me and as his replacement. As Jason alluded to, we've all got something at stake out here on our highways. It's very important that we keep them safe. We've all probably experienced a friend or loved one that's been affected by some type of fatality, whether it's alcohol related or it's other related distracted driving. It's all important to all of us, the Highway Patrol, Metro officers, and all the officers across the state of Tennessee. Just this morning, the command staff addressed this current in-service class as we do every Thursday morning. One of the strong emphasis we place is on distracted driving, encouraging them to please be on the lookout for these. Please be on the lookout for DUIs. In the last several years, we've really increased our DUI numbers. We're going out here and we're proactively looking for these violators to keep everybody safe. Just as Colonel Stewart said this morning, he said, I've got 2 children I've got to make sure is safe every day. He said, when you guys are out here doing your jobs, it makes me feel better. He said, my daughter was going to school the other day to UTC. She called and she said, Dad, she said, you guys is out here doing their job. She said, honey, that's what they're out there to keep you safe. She said, it makes me feel safe. He told that story this morning. This administration and previous administrations have all encouraged DUIs, but over the last several years, we've really done a really good job. We've trained our officers very well. We've got more DREs now, drug recognition experts, to look for this because there's more than just alcohol-related fatalities. There's a big, strong push up in the usage of prescription narcotic drugs. It's causing DUIs. So we're doing our part. We're doing the best we can, and we're going to continue to do better. We have the Drive to Zero campaign. Our goal is to have 0 fatalities. I hope that does come into play one day that we don't ever have another fatality. But we appreciate you all being here today. Again, I apologize that Colonel Trott couldn't be here, and thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you, Major. He also serves as a representative on our Impaired Driving Task Force for the Highway Safety Office. Very much appreciate your efforts and all of your work. Our next guest speaker is Nora Kern. Nora is the Executive Director for Walk Bike Nashville. Since 1998, Walk Bike Nashville has sought to make active transportation an option for Nashvillians, no matter where they live or where they're trying to go. And any of us here that have lived in Nashville just over the last few years has easily seen the uptick in the number of pedestrians and bicyclists, and we see additional lanes being created and additional signage because it is booming here. And this is a real concern that we have really strong safety measures in place for our pedestrians and our bicyclists. This organization uses grassroots strategies to advocate for policies and infrastructure that support walking and bicycling. Nora joined Walk Bike Nashville in November of 2013, so she'll celebrate 4 years next month, and during her time has helped grow the organization. I'd like to welcome Nora Kern to the podium.
Hello, so as was mentioned, my name is Nora Kern. I'm the Executive Director of Walk Bike Nashville, and we're committed to not just promoting walking and biking as a healthy and efficient and affordable way of getting around, but also making sure that our streets are safe and accessible to all road users, and in particular the most vulnerable road users, who are those who are out on foot or out on bicycle each day. Unfortunately, we have a lot of work still to do in this respect. Just this Tuesday here in Nashville, we lost yet another community member and friend who was out walking on our streets of Nashville. Mr. Dismas Morego was the 19th Nashvillian killed walking in just 2017, making this already one of the most deadly years on record for our city and for our pedestrians. We know that there are more people killed walking across the entire state, and these, we want to remind everyone, are people's friends, community members, neighbors, brothers and sisters. So like everyone here, we are committed to achieving zero traffic fatalities and eliminating all pedestrian and bicyclist serious injuries. We're excited to partner with everyone and really make some progress on this initiative. So next week we are actually launching a pedestrian safety campaign here in Nashville in partnership with the Tennessee Highway Safety Office that's going to really focus on making sure everyone who's out driving is alert, is aware, and is looking out for those people who are on our streets walking. We look forward to working with everyone and want to remind everyone that the responsibility to keep our friends and community members who are walking and riding bikes and driving is really up to all of us. So we hope to make serious progress on this moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora, and thank you for all your efforts. I love Nashville. I do quite a bit of walking, a little bit of running, not a whole lot of it, trying to build that up. But I appreciate the efforts of Walk Bike Nashville trying to help make things safer for us so that we can truly enjoy this city. Our next guest speaker is Hope Wade. Hope is a current student at our very own Lipscomb University here in Nashville. She is the VP, the Vice President of Programs for the 2017-2018 SAD National College Advisory Council, SAD standing for Students Against Destructive Decisions. Individuals selected for this program are those who represent the organization because of the leadership and advocacy positions that they have taken in their respective communities in the areas of traffic safety, substance abuse prevention, and personal health and safety. I'd like to welcome Hope Wade to the platform.
Good morning. I would like to take a minute for everybody to think about your favorite t-shirt. Go ahead, think about it. Does it represent your favorite beach that you ever went to? Or maybe your favorite restaurant? Does it have a funny logo on it? But what if this t-shirt was a t-shirt that commemorated a death? What if it commemorated a death of a classmate, of a brother, of a sister, of a boyfriend, of a girlfriend? What if you were like me and you spent time designing this shirt to raise money to properly give one of your community members the funeral that they deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's happening yesterday and today and tomorrow and a few weeks before this. Teens are dying on the roads. People are dying on the roads, whether they're walking, whether they're biking, whether they're passengers or drivers. Not always is it their fault. Not always are they speeding. Maybe it's somebody else that's speeding. But it's our job to move to a day where there's 0 fatalities on the roadways. We can start here in Tennessee. We can start in Nashville. Let's start on 7th Avenue. But let's start somewhere. Let's go somewhere with this. Let's get 0 fatalities. Thank you.
Thank you, Hope. We are so appreciative of our young people stepping up for these causes and making impacts within their own communities. Our last speaker is a special friend to the Highway Safety Office, Megan Bogue. Megan is a powerful advocate of traffic safety, including child passenger safety. In 2013, Megan, her mother, her daughter Wincy, who was 3 years old at the time, and son Emmett, who was 14 days old, who we had the pleasure of playing with a little bit earlier this morning, were all involved in a devastating head-on collision in the Greenbrier-Springville community. Since then, Megan has used her experience to educate others. Unfortunately, Megan is like so many. She's forced into an arena that she didn't ask to be a part of, but she has taken upon that challenge and risen to it to make a difference. I'd like to welcome Megan Bogue to the podium.
Thank you guys for asking me to come today. And of course, my husband and son, who's a lot older than 14 days old now. Imagine that you just gave birth to your second child. You are overjoyed as you begin your adventure as a family of 4. However, this pure happiness only lasts for 14 days. As you try your best to live for the child that you just had, you suffer a tremendous loss for the child that you must now bury. We are Brandon and Megan Bogue and Emmett, and this is our tragic family story. In January of 2013, we had just given birth to our second baby. However, we were a functioning family of 4 for only 14 days. We never had an opportunity to even take a family photo. On January 28th, my husband headed back to work, and my mom came to help me transition into having 2 young children. My mom and I decided to get out of the house and to run a few errands. We never had an opportunity to take, Unfortunately, we never made it back home together. Who would have thought that a quick 10-minute car ride would have impacted our family for the rest of our lives? A man driving with a suspended license changed our lives forever. This man was uninsured and breaking several traffic laws. We may never know why he crossed the 5-lane highway and struck our car head on, but we will forever feel the ramifications. As I was drifting in and out of consciousness and being cut out of my car, my mom and 2 children were taken to the nearest hospital and later life-flighted to Vanderbilt. I was then also life-flighted to Vanderbilt. My mom received too many internal injuries and passed that evening during surgery. I underwent 7 surgeries in 3 days and was kept sedated for healing purposes. Among many internal injuries, I also had 2 broken legs, a broken arm, a broken wrist, a broken back, a broken pelvis, and a broken ankle. I lived in the hospital for nearly 4 months so that I could slowly regain my strength again. I remained in a wheelchair for 6 months and gradually used a walker and a cane to relearn how to walk again. I credit the seatbelt for saving my life. Brandon and I had also done everything possible to keep our children safe. Wincy and Emmett both were properly restrained in 5-point harness car seats. Regrettably, at only 3 years old, our precious daughter could not overcome the injuries she sustained. As the doctors told us that there was nothing more they could do, we had to make the unimaginable decision. to remove her from life support. We had to let our baby girl go. She passed on Saturday, February 2nd, 2013. At that time, our newborn baby, Emmett, survived. After being resuscitated, he had minimal injuries, including a broken leg and a small brain bleed. Being so young, his body quickly recuperated and was released from the hospital. It has now been 4.5 years since that tragic day, and we are still striving to heal our family. Emmett is perfect and has no long-term effects, as you can see. He is now an energetic 4-year-old who constantly keeps us guessing and on our toes. My body still suffers from debilitating post-traumatic chronic pain and now osteoarthritis. Although I still struggle with my physical health, my mental and emotional health has been the hardest for me to overcome. I now fight a traumatic brain injury, PTSD, depression, anxiety, and insomnia, all stemming from that day. We suffer this pain and heartbreak because of the other driver's choice. He chose to not obey traffic laws. Our family joins this nationwide initiative and encourages all roadway users to exercise caution and obey traffic laws. Our goal is to prevent another family from burying a child or another loved one. Just managing our own family's daily grief is sometimes too much. We will always grieve my mom, our daughter, and who I once was. We will always grieve our life for what could have been. Please help us put the brakes on fatalities for good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan, and to your husband and to Emmett being here today with us. That's extremely special for us, for your bravery and for articulating so well what is an extremely devastating moment for your family. This happens hundreds of times, and unfortunately, that's the reason we're here today. Let's remember that next Tuesday, October the 10th, is Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day, the day that we would love to be able to say there are no fatalities on the roadways in the country, but we would love to be able to say it also about Tennessee, that there are no fatalities. I want to thank our guests for being here, Commissioner Perkey and Major Hamilton, Hope, Megan, Nora, thank you all for being here and for sharing with us. You're such an important partnership for us and leaders for us. Remember next Tuesday, and as we strive for this day to be fatality-free, at this point, this will conclude the press event, but our guests are available for questions or interviews immediately following. Thanks so much.